Can't go wrong with a good old map quest. All right, Adam King, 10 TV. Boy, he's just been burning the candle at both ends, breaking down brackets, picking winners, sleepers, all that good stuff, analyzing strengths and weaknesses, and he's with us now.
I love bracket season, and I hate bracket season because I'm sitting out there, and so for the first time, actually, I sat down just about 10 minutes ago, and I was like, all right, let me look at this thing and kind of, if I was going to write it out and pick, and I'm like, none of this is right. This all sucks. This is all wrong, and I want to crumple it up and throw it in the trash already.
Why would it be wrong unless you're just littering it with upsets?
Because I hate just picking chalk.
All 4 number ones made it to the Final Four last year.
Yeah, well, Rothman, is that fun for anybody involved? Is that what we're looking for?
No, I thought you wanted to be right.
You can't win the pool if you pick chalk. Because then,
I think you can.
No, because then you got to be so right on everything else. You got to find the team that makes the Final Four that nobody else is taking.
Yeah, but what if your other 3 go to garbage?
Well, Rothman, it all goes to garbage by week 2, so it's fine. I've never won this thing. I've been in second place in every bracket pool I've ever been in for my entire life. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride.
Second place is first loser.
That's
never
right.
Forget that.
See?
So are you a print off the bracket kind of guy, or do you just plug it in on your little machine over there?
Well, so I had one printed on my desk, and I was kind of doing this, and then I like when I can just pull it up on my phone and boom, 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 and you click the buttons, and magically it says, "Oh, your winner's this," and then confetti flies on the app, and I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
I think you gotta print it, do it, fold it up, and keep it in your pocket so it's on hand like it's in your phone.
I like that.
Yeah,
carry it with me everywhere I go.
The lottery ticket just in the back of your
right
pants.
there.
Are you a trend guy? Do you believe in certain trends? Because I've got one for you.
Okay, hit me with your trend.
So every national champion since 1998 has come from the eastern half of the United States. And I think, and most of the guys last night, whether it was Billis or Seth Davis or Bruce Pearl or Jay Williams, they all love Zona. And why wouldn't you? But would that steer you off what I just told you?
No, that's not a real trend. That's just specifically speaking on where
28 years straight.
Yes, but that's
more, a trend.
That's indicative of where the Pac-12 was as a conference, where the Western civilization was over there in California as a conference.
All right.
But Arizona's a very good football team. Arizona's not going to get to the Final Four and right up on the wall, guys.
Well, they're not playing football. They're playing basketball.
I said they're not going to get to the Final Four and right up on the board.
I know you said they're a very good football team.
Oh, they're a good football team as well. They are.
Just wanted to make sure
I actually very much like their quarterback and wide receiver duo, but that's neither here nor there.
You've been up all night analyzing these brackets.
Is that why I'm always losing? I've got the wrong sport?
Essentially, yes.
It could be.
All right, so let me get your thoughts quickly on Ohio State, and then I want to go to your prediction from a year ago that you don't remember.
Oh, I made a prediction.
You did.
Oh, wow. That's
all right.
concerning. I say a lot of things.
We save everything on this show. So, Ohio State, Joshua and I are in the camp of that to make this season, to take that step in momentum, you cracked the seal, you ended the drought in the tournament. That's great, and I want to give you credit for that. He fought their way in. They didn't back their way in. They had to play their way in, and they did. So I want to give them credit for that. But if they don't win this game, and it's a 50-50 game, even though they're a slight favorite, then it feels like that the momentum got halted a little bit. Where are you on it?
I think you're right. I think they there are some people that say it's house money right now because they made it to the tournament, and that was always the dream, and they did that. I think it'd be different if it wasn't TCU. TCU feels very gettable. This is a team.
Call Ryan Day. Get him on the sideline. He took care of it.
That's right.
TCU in a big game.
100%. I saw him lose to Georgia by 60. I mean, there's no way this team is actually, though, watching this basketball team, they're so up and down. I watched them down like 25 points to Kansas State. I packed it up, wiped my hands on a Saturday, walked away, came back an hour and a half later, and they were winning the game.
Well, you're talking about TCU now.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm saying
wow. You really did a deep dive.
I've watched a lot of TCU games. I watched them against Iowa State when they beat. This is a good team, but then also they can play so bad at times. They're very gettable. So with all that is to say, because of that, it feels like you have to win it because it's not one of those games. I mean, if they were lined up and when you're looking at it, it's, they're a 10 seed and they're playing, I don't know who the best 7 seed in the bracket right now is, but, if they had a matchup where they're kind of the underdog, you wouldn't be upset, but they can win this game.
All right, scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel sitting here today?
That they win?
Yeah.
I'd say an 8.
8?
I'm at an 8 that they win this game. I think they are the better team. I think for the first time in a long time, Ohio State has the lightning in a bottle heading to March.
I agree with that.
I can't remember a Buckeye team. They don't have any expectations, and they just kind of feel like, hey, guys, let's go play basketball and see what we can put together.
Just feel trepidatious about, dipping both feet in there.
We ask that you don't use big words like that.
I see Cole perking up back there.
Yeah.
It's the big word alert.
You go to college?
I have some fears.
Language of origin?
I have some fears about going all in right now because they've broken my heart. But I do feel pretty confident for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. Some matchup game. And the way that they've played, you have to be confident about that.
What was my prediction?
All right, so here was your prediction from almost a year ago. This is more what you wanted to talk about, which is football.
I'm going to say this at 1:53 on April 18th, and I'm going to find it in 15 years. I think my hot take on Will Howard, I think he finishes his career with a Super Bowl ring.
As a starter?
I think so.
You see, I went to the pivotal question. A lot of guys can, quote, get a ring.
Yeah.
Sure.
If they're in the right situation.
You stole my back door on that. I was going to hopefully backdoor that in when he was a backup sometime and, got a ring. And
yeah, but I pressed you on a starter and you said, I think.
I'm still.
So how hot of a take with the I think?
We're now a year removed.
We are.
I would feel exactly the same amount of confidence. I don't think anything has changed to bolster my confidence. I'd sure love to see Aaron Rodgers not come back. That would give me a little leg up on that one. But
this is from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. From our guy, Ray Fittipaldo. He said, you could be all in on a guy, but not have him be your day one starter. So I think you wouldn't want to put that pressure on him. So you would have a Mason Rudolph or another veteran be like a placeholder, like similar to what you did with Kenny Pickett. You could let him sit in there and learn. And then when he's ready, that might be October, that might be January. But whenever he's ready, you give him the keys. I do not see them handing over the keys to him, having him be a day one starter. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Wait, how can you say that about a guy who's in year 2?
Yeah.
How can you say starting him mid-season is an all-in move?
It's
his second year.
Is that an old article?
No, it's like 21 hours ago.
That's bizarre.
He said there's little chance that Howard will be the Steelers' choice for the coming year.
First of all, I thought the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette ceased operation, so that's the first shocker of that entire thing.
Jeez.
Listen, he had a take.
Whoa.
I don't think this is
That
like...
was actually news at one point.
But Will Howard was, what, a 5th-round pick?
6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the take was before the draft. I don't think Adam thought he was going to fall that far.
No, but I guess my point is you could be all in on a guy who's a 6th-round pick, but know that it's going to take a year and a half, 2.5 years, whatever it is, to develop him. Like, that's why you drafted him so late. If we were talking about a guy who was because you were all in on the development of him. If we're talking about a guy who is a 1st-round pick or a 2nd-round pick, and we're talking about 2 years, whatever, like I could see where it's like you guys definitely aren't all in. But like I could talk myself into this idea of you knew he was super developmental, but if it clicks for him, you're like, this is our guy.
I'm going to give him a shot. I'm open-minded about it. I thought he was really, really, really good at Ohio State. I think that his quarterback play at Ohio State, his 1 year here, kind of got overshadowed by Jeremiah Smith because Jeremiah Smith was the freshman phenom. I thought Will Howard was really dotting some balls. So I thought that he was pretty good, and I'm open to the idea of giving him a shot. It'd probably be like a 1 year shot. If it doesn't go well, I'm not interested in a second year in the full rookie contract development. I'm not that committed to him, but for 1 year,
there's no money in it.
Yeah,
it's a 6th-round contract. There's nothing to lose.
I just want to say, and I think this is more indicative of what is wrong with the NFL, is that coaches would rather ride out the stupid Mason Rudolph experiment than give the keys to Will Howard. What could possibly Mason Rudolph present more than Will Howard? The upside it's astronomically different.
Mason has more experience. That would be the reason.
Bad experience is not.
But you don't put the guy out there that you feel like you're in on to get mentally screwed by playing bad and getting hit until you feel like he's ready to handle that. That's the only upside. Mason Rudolph's been hit a ton.
Now, I completely understand if that's your premise.
Sometimes with a helmet.
But
you said it.
Rothman, was it Zimmer and Kellen Mond? You know what I'm talking
Oh, yeah, for the Vikes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to assume, because for those of you who don't remember the quote, it was a reporter for the Vikings, a Vikings reporter who asked Mike Zimmer, the head coach, hey, why hasn't Kellen Mond seen more action on the field? Because they had quarterback issues and stuff. And,
I see him.
And the coach said, because I see him in practice every single day.
Yeah.
We got to assume that the coaches have a clue.
They do. That's the whole point, though, because they could easily be like, yeah, this guy's ass, and we're like, he's going to be our backup forever. But if they're like, yeah, we've seen him, we feel like there's something there, I think that's the key. They could have easily just closed the door on it.
First of all, we have heard a lot of good things from people around the Steelers, including none other than Aaron Rodgers about Will Howard. So obviously,
I don't know if I trust him, though.
Okay, well, that's its own discussion that could last an hour, but I can see that. Mike McCarthy said on day one he's excited about Will Howard. You don't say that if you don't mean it. I just have a problem more so in the modern world of the NFL where teams would rather trot out experience that's bad than give someone else an opportunity. We know what Mason, if I was a Steelers fan and you're telling me that we fired Mike Tomlin and we're trying to build this thing back up and I turn on.
He resigned.
He resigned. Yeah. He cordially resigned. We parted ways with Mike Tomlin and I turned the TV on and you trot Mason Rudolph out there? Off. I'm done. I'm gone.
Most coaches come back to who gives us the best chance to win. They're not thinking the big picture like you are or like he is or like I have been with the Steelers, that once you moved on from Tomlin or he moved on from you, either way, this gives you a little bit of luxury now to say, we got a little leash here. We don't have to be the Steelers of old that always have to go over 500, always have to make the playoffs and lose. Like we can now start to look at a rebuild.
I'm going to ask you guys both this. Maybe all three of you.
next.
I'm going to ask you a question next to all three of these guys. One word answer after the break.
What's the show name?
Yeah, but give me a tease.
Adam, just say the show name.
You're going to ask us a
Rothman Ice on the Fan.
We're known for